everyone, welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia. I have actually been putting off this video for a little bit because I had a pretty bad allergic reaction to an acne treatment that I used on my face that made it look much worse than the acne. So I was putting it off in hopes that it would clear up, but it did not. I'm just going to power through and try not to care what I look like. I'm not home. I'm actually puppy sitting currently. So I want to wrap up the books that I have read recently, and I think that we have about 6 or 7 to talk about, so we better jump in and get busy. All right, so the first book that I want to tell you about is The Crown Tower. This is book 1 in the Riyria Chronicles by Michael J. Sullivan. It is the ongoing saga of Riyria. However, it's the prequel to the Revelations. And I flew through this book. It was wonderful. I had such a good time. We find out the backstory of our Riyria duo, as well as several of the supporting characters of the Revelations. It was just really fascinating to be back in this world and know more about them and about their future than they did at the time that this was happening. I really like this series. I don't think that it's a super deep series. I don't think that it is a really intricate, it's not like Malazan or something like that. It is just simply about friendship. It is about overcoming. It is about building a better world, and I really like it. Then I finished Mystery and Manners. We are not having Flannery o January this year, and I just decided that I was still going to read Flannery anyway. I enjoy her writing in many ways, and there are some other ways that it's just really hard to take, but Mystery and Manners is probably my favorite Flannery, other than her journals and her letters. And so this one is actually various kinds of prose. It's articles that she wrote and essays that she wrote. These are all gathered into this one book, and it was just wonderful to revisit. She just had a really full, fascinating, very short life, and I really enjoyed being back with her, being back in her space. Next one that I finished was Fellowship of the Ring, and we are doing a reread of Lord of the Rings for Tiffany's Patreon for January, February, and March. So January was Fellowship, and I just had the best time being back with these characters that I absolutely adore. And it was hard to finish this book. In fact, I had like 2 pages left, and I just couldn't bring myself to finish the night that I got to that point. I just couldn't finish it. I had to wait. It's probably my 3rd, 4th time through Fellowship, and it never disappoints. It never gets old. Of course, we have some major things that happen in this book that are not resolved by the end of it. I just really want to go on to the Two Towers just so that I can resolve some of the things that are unresolved currently. But I'm being patient. I'm waiting until February so I can read it with everyone else. But I'm looking forward to our Patreon discussion of Fellowship. Then I finished Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar that I have been reading with Dave and Olive over at Book Blather. And this was so different. Tarzan and Jane living in Africa on a kind of plantation. We have a new antagonist, evil, diabolical, most manipulative and skeezy character. Dave and I both just really had a good time with this one. The writing, oh my goodness, there were so many times when I was laughing hysterically at some of the things that happened or that were just written. I wonder if he could chew that a little louder. He's almost one. All right. Let's move on. I loved Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar. We are moving on in the series. Then I read the Antiquary or Antiquary. I don't know if it's Antiquary or Antiquary. I don't know. But Sir Walter Scott. This was such a surprise. I didn't expect to laugh as much as I did. And I'm pretty sure I was meant to. This is about an older gentleman who is quite the connoisseur and collector of all things ancient. Meets a young man who doesn't honestly know what his real name is. And he finds out that the young man is quite educated. So even though he doesn't know his parentage, he doesn't know who he is the son of, he has been provided for. He has been looked after. They form a friendship. The story just kind of proceeds from there, but it is packed full of just so much fun. He's this little bit of a know-it-all, but you just don't mind. You indulge him because he's just so lovable. Anyway, are you supposed to have that? I ended up really liking this book. There are a few plot twists that happen, and it's just, I mean, you can see them coming, but it doesn't matter. It's just fun getting there. Just pleasantly surprised by it. Then I read Blue Highways, and this is a book that I have been wanting to read for a very long time and have not been able to get my hands on it. I finally was able to get an interlibrary loan for it. This is by William Least Heat Moon. The story of a man whose life basically does a flip upside down, and he decides that he's just gonna leave life behind and take off in his converted van and drive the back roads of America. He is going to places called Nowhere and Armpit and all of these that, you know, just are little teeny tiny podunk places. As he wants to hear the story. It's kind of what I wanted from Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck that I read a month or two ago. I wanted Travels with Charlie to be much more like Blue Highways. And so I missed a little bit of John Steinbeck's wisdom in this book, but I really enjoyed the way that William Least Heat Moon wrote. I enjoyed the way that he didn't sugarcoat the stories that he was telling, and that he told many, many more stories than John Steinbeck did. I just really had a good time getting to know America through this book. And lastly, I read Murder on or in Black Swan Lane. And this is by Andrea, starts with a P. It's about a very brilliant Earl, and he is a well-regarded chemist, and he is kind of bored with life. And so he decides he's going to solve a murder that he stumbles upon. And then it's also there's another perspective, and that is of a just as brilliant artist who is a satirist. And she at first is out to prove that the Earl is the one responsible for the murders, and then comes around to helping him prove that he is not the one responsible. And I really liked it. I thought it was so good. What I especially appreciated about it was the fact that the Earl and the artist both are extremely kind and compassionate people. That is not yours. You're being naughty. This isn't yours either, is it? No. Gotta love them. Anyway, so of course they solved the mystery, and it was just a really good one. I am looking forward to reading the next book in the series, and I really love the friendship that is between this female artist and this male Earl. And so I'm hoping that the series doesn't ruin it and ending up with this weird dynamic between the two of them. But we'll see. So anyway, currently, let me tell you what I'm currently reading. I'm still reading Look Unto Me by Spurgeon, and that is a devotional, so it's going to be going the whole year. My Bible study group that I am a part of is going to begin the book of Esther in the Bible, and so I have been doing some studying on the book of Esther. And then I am reading Winesburg, Ohio by Sherwood Anderson, and I'm reading that with Hannah from Hannah's Books. It is making me think, it's making me dig a little bit into what maybe there's some meanings behind some things that are being said, looking beneath the surface of things. Let's see, what else am I reading right now? I am reading, is it Art of Prophecy? It's the second book by Wesley Chu. The first one may have been The Art of Prophecy. I'm not at home. I don't have everything with me. I think I'm about halfway through it. I'm not liking it as much as I liked the first one. This one has a lot more perspectives going on, and just a lot more activity going on. It seems like there's just a whole heck of a lot of stuff and I don't know how it's all going to fit together yet. And there's one kind of storyline in particular that I'm just not really that interested in, but maybe I will be by the end of it. And then what else am I reading? It seems like there is one other thing, but I can't remember what it is. You'll find out when I wrap it up, I guess. I hope that you all are doing well and that you are staying warm. It is very snowy here and has been snowing pretty much nonstop for the last 2 days. And so we have about 8 to 10 inches outside. So anyway, that is everything from me. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please talk to me about the books that I mentioned down below. If you've read any of them, I would love to know what your thoughts were. And I will talk to you again very soon in another video. Bye, everyone.